You guys remember how in yesterday's video, the entire purpose of the video was to go into the shop, use the CNC plasma cutter to try to make some fingerboard rails, which is the entire reason I got the CNC plasma cutter in the first place. In the entire 20-minute video, we never actually got around to doing that, and how at the end of the video, I mentioned that tomorrow, which is now today, we were gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna try to do that at least. I don't know if you can see by the ground, but we finally had some rain, and it smells and feels so good. Oh, it's just like, it's like fresh air. Like, it's so far from what the air feels like and smells like in LA. It just smells like earth and like trees, and I love it. We're still waiting for the T-slot nut so that we can actually mount the tube notcher to the base of the drill press so that we can finish up this project, because I'm actually super excited for this. This garage door is still broken, and I don't know why, to be honest, but my entire life I've been raised to not try to fix garage doors yourself. I don't know if it's true or not. My parents always told me, like, don't try to do it. You're like, out of all the things you can try to do yourself, fixing garage doors is not one of them. I guess they're just super dangerous. I can see what's wrong with it. The chain right there just slipped off of the gear. I shut off the power to the entire shop, and I tried to like underail it, but I think that it's deeper than that. So might have to call a garage door dude for that. And then this one's actually running a little rough, so maybe it is better just to get them both checked out. Anyway, I'm not gonna let what happened in yesterday's video happen today, where we just got sidetracked the entire day. Let's get started. Step one is going to be to fill this rust bucket up with water so we can get to cutting. Start by turning this on here. We have the water table filling up. Turn this on there. See, I'm doing my mental checklist. It's starting to come a little bit more naturally the more that I use this. I already turned on and filled the air compressor so you guys don't have to deal with that noise again. Got our hose ran from our air filter in, and then I guess I can actually pressurize this now to like 90. There we go. It doesn't really matter what I set it to because the cutter itself has a regulator to 75 PSI, so that's cool. We want this cranked all the way up to 45 amps because we are cutting some thick metal today. Hopefully, we're gonna try to cut some thick metal today. I don't think you're able to tell quite how heavy this is, but this is a 2x2 3/8 inch thick just slab of steel. Okay, let's set this down now. Okay, so this is by far the thickest piece of metal I've ever cut. All right, so let me try to explain my thought process here. Unfortunately, this is the only example I have. This is a rail that never ended up making the cut just because it's really ugly looking, but it does its job of kind of explaining myself here. The material that this is made out of is a 3/8 inch steel bar, and you can kind of see if you look closely that each section of this is its own individual piece. So let's see if I have... These are just like scrap pieces to practice my welds. I get these 3/8 inch steel bars in 6-foot sections, so it's just a long straight bar, right? I will then cut it to make whatever sections I need. So in a case like this, we need what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual cuts from that one bar just to make this stupid little rail. This was a little over a year ago. I've been trying to make these little fingerboard rails for quite some time now, actually. I've taken like a little hiatus during the move. But even making this garbage little piece of scrap rail, this took me like multiple hours because you have to cut and sand and grind and prep, and then once you weld them together, grind those. It's so much work. This one's kind of hard to lay flat because I welded these feet on it, but let's go back to this example here. Picture this 3/8 inch slab. So it's the same thickness as the rods that I've been using. I had the thought of like, what if I can just model out whatever shape rail that I want and then cut it out of the giant slab on a CNC machine so it saves me all of these individual pieces needing to be welded together. Literally, that's like why a little over a year and a half ago, that's what sparked the whole desire to have this CNC machine in the first place. It was to just speed my workflow up for these fingerboard rails that at the time of me selling them were doing really, really well. It was just like unsustainable how much work it was. Fast forward to finally making this a reality, and we actually have the CNC plasma cutter, we have the space for it, the shop, which is insane. And the homie Jordan helped me. I literally titled this project, Jordan Helped Me. The homie Jordan helped me make this. It is, I'm trying to show you guys like kind of a 3D walk around right now. It is my first attempt at making a rail using the CNC CNC plasma cutter. You can kind of see what I mean. Normally, this would be 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, 4 piece, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces all welded together meticulously and then grinded down to clean it up. In theory, I can use this file that we made and just send that to the CNC machine and just cut out, I don't know, 15 of them from this one sheet, saving me hours, if not days of work. In theory, that's the problem here. All right, we have our rail ready to cut. We have everything zeroed and ready, but this is by far the most expensive piece of metal I've ever cut. Just this little 2x2 sheet was over $100. It's I mean, you can see it. It's a really thick piece of steel, but that being said, I really don't want to waste any material here. I have a mental checklist, but I also have a real physical checklist as well. So off camera, I went through and made sure everything was good. I made sure all of my cut settings were correct. I called Jordan, actually. I hopped on a FaceTime with him just to make sure everything was good to go. I moved my ground clamp to the actual material itself, whereas before I either have it on one of the slats or the table, but Jordan was telling me that having it on the actual material can really help the cut quality. Weirdly enough, I also heard that having the cable or whatever it is from the plasma cutter resting against the motors can actually cause some interference. So I went through and I moved all those to make sure there's no interference there. I tightened all of our little clampy clamps, and I think it's go time. That being said, even with all the precautions I've taken so far and all the checklists I've checked off, I still want to do a dry run just to make sure, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes smooth. So over here, I'm gonna click the dry run option, which will essentially go through and show us the path. It's gonna cut it minus the actual cutting of it. With that selected, we click start, and it's gonna demonstrate essentially what it does. And you can see how slow that's cutting. Previously, when working with, can you guys see it? With the thinner metal like we have over there, it cuts pretty quick. It's like, but this is so thick that it's moving crazy slow when it's actually cutting. Everything looks like it's working though, so I think we're just gonna stop the dry run and fingers crossed, hope for the best. I'm just cutting one first. One on this very far corner, just in case I gotta make some changes and it messes something up. Dry run is off, visor is on. I really hope this one works, all right? You can see how much slower it's cutting. All right, I mean, it's cutting the little holes out. I'm just gonna set you guys down on the tripod and just fast forward it. Yo, hold on, I think it's a good cut. Oh my God, let me let that cool down, then pull it out. Okay, are you guys ready for the moment of truth? Oh, come here, come on. Dude, it worked. So we do have a bit of dross on the back. You can see it's gonna need some cleanup, and I do think that some of that has to be, like some of that's because of my cut settings. I'm just following some pretty rough numbers that Jordan gave me that, you know, vary based on material thickness and all of that. So it does need some cleanup. Let's grind this down, clean it up, and then see how we're looking. What I'm hoping for is that I'm using a file as a hammer right now, that we can kind of just like chisel away. Yeah, see look at that, dude. A lot of that was just super loose dross. Even just that, we were able to, most of it is gone now, which is good. Oh, dude, we might be able to get all of it off like this. Yeah, I mean, I might want to go over it with one of those flap discs just to clean it up if I'm selling these, but there's the top. The top came out really good, and then the back, without using the angle grinder or anything, this is just like kind of filing it off. That looks great. Finally! Oh, we finally have a W after so many L's in a row. God damn. Okay, I think once we fully clean this up, I think that these are good. I am comfortable enough with this to cut out a whole lot more. I just went over this with the angle grinder, and sure enough, dude, it cleaned up pretty easy, maybe 5-10 minutes max, and we got it looking really, really good. Without a doubt. I mean, obviously I have to put feet on it, but that's step 2. But I mean, this cutout alone, cleaned up and painted, obviously. This is the quality that I'm comfortable selling for my little fingerboard rail business. So that is great news. I made a big old row of them here that starting from that point, I should be able to get, you know, a full roll, I can't even talk. I'm gonna make more, okay? That's what I'm getting at. Again, I got everything zeroed from our start point, and I'll set you guys up and just kind of time lapse this whole process. I was gonna go through and like maximize the entire sheet, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet, just in case something comes up if it's been cutting for that long, or I don't know. Let's start with these, I think 9 more, or however many it is. And there we have it. She is steaming. That was by far the longest I've ever had that machine run, ever. You can see that thing is steaming, bro. I'm going to have to let that cool down for a very fair amount of time before I get anywhere near that. Well, I guess not even a quick change of plans. I gotta let this cool down. I just got a call from the place that has the Tundra right now. I don't even think I told you that I took the Tundra in anywhere. The truck is done, so I gotta go pick that up, and I'll show you guys what we got done to it. Nothing crazy. And then by the time we're back, this should be cool enough to pull out and everything, and we'll go from there. Just by looking at it, I mean, I think we're good. You can see I got pretty lucky on those last 2 because I think the sheet was slightly rotated. So we had like a 1/4 inch barrier on the bottom ones, but as we get up and up and up, we were barely on the side of those, but should all be good. I'm gonna go pick up the truck and then we'll take these out. Look, we're twinning. There's a Tundra next to my Tundra. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I'll show you what, let me get in the car and show you what we got. Oh, yes. Alrighty. Anything look new? Probably not, huh? That's new, and those are new. But that's not why I actually took it in. I took it in for a different reason. Really lame story really quick. So do you guys remember, last week I got that windshield mount for the Tesla. Previously, I'd just been holding my tripod like while I'm driving, as I am now. And after doing that for years, I'd never owned a windshield mount. I finally caved in and I got a windshield, like a suction cup mount. Had it for like 4 days, and then I went through with selling the Tesla and getting the truck, and I took everything out of the Tesla except for the suction cup mount. So I sold it with the suction cup mount after all that time of not having it. I had it for like 4 days. Anyway, so we got the head unit, we have the ditch lights, and we got the front and rear dash cam. Dash cam I got for obvious reasons, like insurance if I'm ever in an accident, or if someone else is in an accident. I've actually done that before with the Tesla. I caught an accident on camera and I was able to get them the footage so that they had that in court or wherever they took it. I don't know, insurance, whatever. They're just really handy to have, and they help with insurance. The ditch lights, I will be the first to admit that I didn't need them. There is a reason that I went with the ditch lights as opposed to a light bar though. Light bar serves a purpose. It's like a very directional beam of light for if you're taking it off-roading, or that's the use case for it. There has been plenty of times, not since being up here, I'll admit, but when I was younger, I would light up street spots with my car headlights, and it worked, but barely. I thought living out here where it's a lot more rural, end of the day, it's cool, all right? I wanted them, why not? Do I need them? No. The reason that I went with ditch lights instead of a light bar is the light bar is way more directional. Can't really see it, but the ditch lights also shine straight ahead, but they also shine out to each side, so it's able to illuminate much wider of a field of view, which I thought could be really sick for a skate spot, because I don't need the crazy directional light. But I mean, I can flip them on. Can you see them illuminate that stop sign all the way up there? They are very, very bright. None of that was essential. Those were all just kind of wants, not needs at all. The need, I put that in quotes because it's still really not a need, is when I got the car, it has a full aftermarket subs, amp, all that. The sound system's great, but there was this little like crackling sound. Like it sounds like if an aux cord isn't fully plugged in, and it usually means there's a short in one of the speaker cables or something. I did my best to troubleshoot it myself and just wasn't able to find it, and I really hate wiring, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take it to some professionals. It was one of those things that I didn't hear during the test drives. It's so subtle and so small, but once I heard it, I could not unhear it. It was this like static popping sound every 2 seconds, big, and it was driving me mad. So that's why I actually took it in. So they retuned my amp, they replaced the head unit, got the ditch lights, got rid of that snap, crackle, pop sound. Let me live, all right? Right now we're heading back home, uphill, solid 9.5 miles per gallon. Gotta love America, baby! I'll see you guys back at the house. All right, we just got home, so I can actually show you this now. It's a 2018 Tundra, which 2018 doesn't feel that old, but I guess that's 6 years old. I guess that is kind of old. It didn't have CarPlay, and I just learned to rely on Apple CarPlay for better or for worse, so I really wanted a new head unit, and I had a feeling that might fix that static noise. Plus, I mean, this is kind of like very pointless and overkill, but now I can go to like vehicle info, and I have my gauges, so it can show me everything about my car, which is cool. Necessary, no, but not everything has to have a purpose, all right? Some things are just allowed to make me happy. We also have the dash cam, which monitors the front of the car and then the back of the car, but we have the camper shell on, which, by the way, I got roasted for calling it a camper shell. Is it not called a camper shell? Hold on, I want to turn my light. Dude, you can see, it's broad daylight, right? I guess it's overcast. You can see the lights illuminating the tree in front of me, which is pretty crazy. I just want to see what the truck looks like. Oh, those things are bright, man. It looks like I got myself a truck now. All right, well, I went to go put it into neutral. Look at that. We almost got 11 miles per gallon driving home. That's pretty good. Whose idea was it to get a full-size truck? Is this not a camper shell? My entire life, my dad always called his a camper shell. I always thought it was called a camper shell, but I got roasted calling it a camper shell. It's a shell, and you can camp in it. It's a camper shell. What do you guys call it? A truck topper or something? That just sounds wrong. I'm calling it a camper shell till the day I die. Back down to the shop. Let's go pluck those fingerboard rails out of there and see how they're looking. Alrighty, let's check on my little babies back here. Everything, wow, it's actually still warm. It's like nowhere near hot, obviously, but it is still warm. It's been like an hour. The water is still warm too. I'm really hoping that they're all good. They got the dross on the back, but I mean, we know that. It cleans up nice. Just kind of going through and getting all of them out of here. So far, so good. They're consistent, which is the most important thing. Yeah, I mean, they're all, I mean, that's the whole purpose of the CNC machine, is to quote unquote, you know, mass produce things, to be able to create the same thing over and over. Now, these ones are where I was getting a little worried about that side right there, specifically this one. A lot of dross there because it was just melting the metal, but I think it should just chisel off and we should be good to go. Oh, we did it, baby. Right now what I'm doing, I'm going through with the file, and I'm not actually filing them off. I'm literally just like bashing them off, and the big nuggets are coming off really easily. I was talking to Jordan. You guys know, I mean, if you watch the first CNC video we did, Jordan is a main character in the CNC videos now. I mentioned I was talking to him earlier today, and he actually is sending me a care package of stuff that I can use on this fabrication journey. And one of them is a tool that's gonna work a whole lot better than what I'm using right now. Essentially, it's like a putty knife, like one of those big, thick putty knives, except it's thick metal, so I can just like bash them off. In the meantime, I figure I might as well just ruin my file by doing this just to have them done. But it is pretty reassuring to know that that there's an easier way to do this. Although this works, it's just not very practical. I don't know how much of it you can see, but it's able to get those big dross nuggets off, like this one right here on the corner. There it goes, see? And now it is no longer with us. And then I'm gonna go over it with the angle grinder to clean all the little stuff off and just perfect it a little bit. Look at this one. This one got pretty gnarly with all the dross on the back. Couple quick bashes. I mean, look, that one bash and all that bottom stuff came off. There it goes. Now that side one's gone. So it's coming off really easily, which I'm stoked on. And now with the backs of all of them kind of roughly chiseled down, I'm gonna go through with this bad boy and just finish them up and hopefully have them done. And as always, the eye protection, the eye condoms are going on. All right, that's pretty much it for one rail. I would say it was a couple minutes, if that. Again, to do this by hand without the CNC machine, non-exaggeratingly, I wanna say from start to finish, raw material to finished rail, I wanna say 4 hours per rail. And we're able to knock out these in, I mean, let's say it takes a couple minutes to cut. Let's just add let's add 30 minutes to be generous. So 30 minutes now, and that's like from start to finish. Like that's probably more than it actually takes. I am really happy with how these came out. So let's finish them all up. I cannot put into words how good it feels to take a W for once. In terms of our fabrication, I mean, I feel like we've just been taking L's with the fabrication journey until now. It's kind of a bad thing to say before we're done. But anyway, look at these, dude. They're all polished and good, and both sides are chilling. And now, like, once the legs are on and they're painted, they're done. I'm really happy with these. Like, I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm surprised. Based on how good these first 10 came out, I think I'm just gonna knock out another 10 because it lines up pretty perfectly with the 2-foot square. I don't actually know if I like have to clean this up, but I leveled it so it's not rotated now, and I think we're good for another 10. There's our full row of 10. Got everything lined up to go right next to the last one. That's all good. That is all good. That's on. Boom, 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 boom. And we click start and... There really is a lot of waiting involved. When we're cutting such thick material, I think the last 9 took 28 minutes. I'm sure you guys can tell, but it's really loud in here. If I'm gonna be in here for a while, it's probably not a bad idea to have some ear protection, so I have some noise canceling headphones I'm gonna throw in. Let's see how much they actually cancel, huh? Okay, it's a whole lot quieter. I can still hear it for sure, but this has to be better for my ears. Testing, test. Wow. Talking with noise canceling headphones on is really weird. I can feel myself talking, but I can't necessarily hear myself. Well, I can hear myself. It just does not, it does not sound right. All right, like I said, I can't look directly at it. We have about 20 minutes until that's done. I figured we might as well get some tricks on the rail and just skate and have fun, because why not? I'm not gonna be talking or vlogging or anything though. I'm just gonna play some music and hang out. You guys might wanna mute the video for a little bit. When you see my face again, that's when you can unmute it. Okay, pause the music. Oh my god. All right, I think it's just about done. So unfortunately, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we have a fallen soldier right there. Okay, so these ones came out a little sloppier than the first batch. You can see there's a lot of dross on some of them. The front is still fine. I think I know why though. Our air filter, these little blue beads, they start out blue and they turn pink when they need to be replaced. My Amazon order that had all the beads in them just got lost, so I had to hit up Amazon support, and now the new box gets here tomorrow. Essentially, our air filter isn't filtering anymore, which means there's moisture moisture in the air coming through, which can make sloppier cuts. Regardless, all this stuff can be fixed. It can all be chiseled away and cleaned up. It's just a little bit more work on my behalf. That being said, though, I think I'm just gonna knock out the last row here. We have enough for 10 more to use that full sheet. At this point, I mean, I feel like I've filmed the process already, so I'll just see you guys once that's all said and done. Okay, it's been a couple hours. It's definitely still a lot of work. I have a lot of figuring out to do still. You can see the table is just a mess right now. I'm draining the water right now and kind of cleaning up. We got away with only losing 2. You can see this one didn't cut right and that one didn't cut right. That's not to say that the, 28 that I did cut were perfect. As with any version 1 of anything, there's gonna be a lot of imperfections, and I am gonna have these for sale on my website eventually. I still gotta make the feet and all that, but I mean, this day is almost over. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to save that for a part 2. Check this out though. We have 28 of them pretty much fully done and cleaned up. I did spend over an hour grinding them down and kind of cleaning everything up. Not that I'm complaining, but it was a little longer than I would have thought. I think a lot of it does have to do with my air filter needing to be, the silica beads replaced. Hopefully. Kind of crossed my fingers on that one. We'll see. Some of them have some imperfections. You can see that that third kind of cutout has a weird little dangle dongle in there. They're for sure gonna look better with paint. Like you can see a lot of the dross grind marks on the back of all of them. But like I said, once they get welded and painted, they're all like they're up to my standard, I would say. That being said, I mean, I always have a note with all of my fingerboard rails if people order them, essentially saying like these are handmade. There's gonna be imperfections, like they're not mass produced at some factory overseas or anything. Like they're all made in my garage. Kind of trying to show like as many of the imperfections as possible so no one's caught off guard when they do order them, but they're usable for sure. Success. We can label this a success, which is really nice. I'm happy about that. Our very expensive sheet of 3/8 inch steel got put to use, and I should be able to recoup my money to be able to buy more metal as well. Not a loss there, which is really nice. I do still have a lot of work. This was just the rail itself. They still need the feet, which I have to CNC cut out of another sheet of metal. I still have to TIG weld all of the feet on. Still a lot of work, and we're gonna save that for a part 2, but right now, the sun is setting yet again, dude. The days are going by far too quickly. I still have 600 calories to burn for my 75 hard, and I wanna run before the sun sets so I don't get devoured by some creature. On that note, I'm gonna say farewell to you guys, and thank you for watching. If there just so happens to be anyone with CNC knowledge, especially like if you randomly happen to have the Langmuir Crossfire Pro, I would greatly appreciate linking up on Discord, Instagram, whatever, kind of picking your brain and fine-tuning these CNC projects I've been working on. That would be very helpful, so please comment, let me know. Whole bunch of half-finished projects right now. We have the half-finished fingerboard rails, we have the half-finished reel rails, just kind of time, man. There's not enough time in the day. All right, speaking of time, I gotta go run before I run out of time. Thank you guys for watching. See you next video. I'm talking so fast. Peace out.